we saw these on the trail, and what else could I do? Being artist and a historian for Kirkland, I had to do it. I had no choice.
For longtime Kirkland resident and painter Merrily Dix, a flash of artistic inspiration has culminated in an important milestone for the community.
On behalf of the Cultural Arts Commission of Kirkland, we welcome all of you to the installation of Merrily Dix's newest piece, Spikes. We're very excited.
This is the dedication of the very first piece of permanent art on the Cross Kirkland corridor. So these are railroad spikes. Merrily noticed that there were a lot of spikes being pulled out when we pulled up the rail line. And she said, I think we should maybe do something with those. And Kari Page put out collection buckets along the trail. And Kari is the Cross Kirkland Corridor coordinator.
The Cross Kirkland Corridor is the 5 3/4 mile long, multi-use bike and pedestrian trail that runs from the South Kirkland Park and Ride through the Totem Lake Business District. The corridor was once a rail line that ran from Renton to Snohomish, a part of which the city bought in 2012. With the help of numerous and typically anonymous community members, Merrily collected boxes of old railroad spikes that were to be the raw materials for her sculpture. But discarded metal isn't Merrily's preferred medium.
I'm a painter, though. And so when I told my boys I was going to take a welding class, they got me this for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
With no training in metalwork, Merrily looked for opportunities to learn welding. Luckily, she had the perfect training opportunity right here in Kirkland.
I'm Amy Goings, the president of Lake Washington Institute of Technology. You can imagine my joy when I was first introduced to Merrily as a welding student at Lake Washington Tech, as well as a renowned artist here in the Kirkland community. And I thought to myself, this is surely a woman I need to know.
As she dove into the practice of welding, Merrily was introduced to an ally in her artistic journey.
One day at our annual open house, I met this bright young man, Riley, who told me about his love of art and welding. And I thought, aha, there's a woman you need to meet.
When I saw my welding after a couple quarters, 2 quarters of welding classes, and then saw Riley's after 2 years of welding classes, I thought, oh, this is not hard to do if I had an assistant. So he was fantastic. It took him a very short time to get my concept of what I wanted to do, and one of the fastest good welders I've ever seen.
It was just a joy because we could just talk and we just got what the other person was saying. I didn't really know what to expect, but it was just kind of a weird experience because I've never actually taken any art classes or worked with anyone who does art, so it's always just been me working with welders.
But you know what I told the boys in that class is that they were doing art. When I saw a weld that was a beautiful weld like you can do, that it was art. I mean, it turned into art.
That's what happened for the Spikes team, who took over 300 discarded spikes and made something beautiful. And what do community members think of the result?
I think it's beautiful. I think it sits in there just very naturally. It looks like it's part of the scenery.
It's just real rustic, real kind of just natural. But it blends in beautifully with that hillside.
Hopefully the first of many installations to come.
It's a great community involvement piece, and then also from one of our long-standing representatives for the arts in the community. And I mean, who better but Merrily?
For Merrily, who grew up waving to trains passing by her grandmother's house in the Houghton neighborhood, honoring Kirkland's history was at the heart of her creation.
There was nothing from the railroad for the history part of Kirkland.
The historical reference alone is just so cool. And I think everybody who looks at this will acknowledge that and know where those spikes came from.
As the first piece of public art along the Cross Kirkland corridor, Merrily's hard work in a new medium will be a prominent reminder of the resourcefulness and motivation of Kirkland residents.
It was a long time coming, and I didn't expect this much joy. Wow, look. It's finally done.